Hello, everybody. It's Ken Faulkner, and it's collection time again. Dipping into the slip joints. Too many to do all at once, so I'm trying to split it up, trying to figure it out. It's like I have groups of like certain brands, but they're not really enough to kind of get through it in a reasonable time. So I'm kind of mixing it in with other stuff, and it is what it is. Basically, I'm looking at like Rough Riders and stuff like that. I kind of started with lower cost ones, and definitely Rough Riders are in that area because they are definitely a good budget knife, really good quality for price. Definitely made over in China, but there's some really good slip joints that are made over in China as well. Yeah, I mean they come in with some incredible prices, and so yeah, these are like lower cost knives, but not all of them are the ones. Like I have some other low cost ones that I kind of put in different categories. I'm just struggling, trying to get through this. It's been a long road doing all these collections, and I'm getting close. And it's going to be kind of a celebration with that, and getting through the Faulkner Five, and I'm enjoying all of it. But it's definitely I'm trying to think of ways to do it. You know what I mean? When the collection gets to a certain size, then and I'm just realizing that I don't want to do an hour long video. I gotta be creative, and sometimes it gets a little tricky. I say, oh well, how about if I cut it this way? If I cut the piece of pie this way, and no, that's too big. Then it's this way. Okay, but anyway, this is what I ended up with on this one, and it is all my Rough Riders. Might as well start going through all those. These are some really, really good knives for the price, for sure. Now, these are the slip joint collection, but there are a mixture. It's kind of traditionals. I don't know what the actual name really should be because this one's got a lock. But it certainly has a traditional look to it, and that's not a usual lock. Even though it's like a liner lock, it's not your usual lock. See on here, this is the work knife. That's what the name of it is. Because it's only $14.99, I guess they couldn't afford to come up with a different name. But it is really actually a good name for this knife. I mean, it is a great 440 razor sharp steel. It's a great size for work. I mean, this would be excellent in any kind of manual labor, repair, the dirty jobs. What's that guy that does the dirty jobs? That guy's pretty cool. And any of those kind of jobs, this kind of knife, this would, because it does lock, it's gonna be a great knife, and it's a good size. And I definitely picked it up for that reason. Got a blue jean kind of look. I think I saw this one on Big Red on his channel. There's certain channels that have a mixture of traditionals and moderns, and that's kind of what my channel is. But I definitely am more leaning towards the moderns. But I do have a few. So anyway, this one, yeah, it feels good in the hand. It definitely has plenty of room. Definitely has seen some work as the work knife. Definitely could use a little, probably some stropping here on the edge. And so I'll probably clean these guys up before I put them back away. These kind of live in this little drawer over here, so they're not in like one of the cases. It's gotten to be a kind of ridiculous. So going through and finding all these knives was a little bit difficult. So that may be close to one of the biggest quote-unquote slip joint knives that I do have. Definitely up there in the size. The next one is the one-arm razor. And boy, the quality on this one is so nice. I just remember seeing this one and the price on it. So one-arm razor is $30. I mean, and you got multiple blades on it, and it's got that. You'll notice. You probably have noticed that I have a variety in my collection, and I go for that. I specifically go for that. It's not. It's because I like different types of knives. And I saw this one arm razor. I'm going, oh, that is cool. And I know what the history of it. It comes from the Civil War. At least that's what I've been told by several sources. So I'm pretty sure that's true. That after the Civil War, there's a lot of people that had lost their arms during that war. And so they were coming up with this as a one-arm razor as a way that they could hook under this little part here to open up the knife, and then they could close it back again with only one arm. So it does have that blade, but then it also does have a regular clip point, but it's a full size. So this is pretty decent size, but the quality of the covers on this one, it says that it is bone. That's another thing about slip joints, is that you get materials that you don't get on modern folders that much. Maybe every once in a while you might get bone, but yeah, I mean it's cool. I mean, I really like the natural materials. You also get your micartas and things like that as well, but you get the bone, you get the wood, all that beauty. Beautiful knives, slip joints, traditionals, just beautiful craftsmanship and history, and it ties me back to some of the early days of my knife buying, because I'm old enough to be pre liner lock, type knives. So anyway, 2 blades on this one. You got the one arm, and if you happen to have 2 arms, then you got the clip point too. And again, a decent size. I do have smaller ones. I kind of push those into a different category. So we'll be seeing like a bunch of the little ones, and at some point, the only problem is that some of them may be smaller groups, and this may be all right because I'm trying to stretch it out until Blade Show. Try to kind of finish the collection stuff around the same time as Blade Show, and that's still not quite a month, but like 3 weeks away. All right, so what else we got? This is my first one I got. I believe it was before this one, and yeah, this is like an Amazon buy. And again, this is a bow trapper, and I just couldn't believe $15. And just going, man, I'm looking at all these modern locking knives, and $30 is a great deal, 25, something like that, but $15, and I definitely use and still use slip joints as a way to get a knife in the mail that is not going to feel so painful financially. And I still enjoy, and I really I'm amazed that the price of this thing is $15. I mean, it is really good quality. Again, we're talking about this is micarta on this one, but it looks very much like the bone. It's got that same kind of look to it. But yeah, really nice. The shields, different types of shields. I memean, these are all Rough Ryders, but they all have different kinds of shields. And we'll get into the Voxes over here in a minute. Great shape. I love the way it fits in my hand so well. That swept down, almost like a pistol kind of grip. It feels so good. It really does feel good. It's almost got like a Scandi, so it's kind of robust as far as the thickness of the blade, but it kind of comes down fast, and it's good for like splitting wood. So if you're going to be whittling and stuff like that, you're going to separate that wood pretty well. It's not going to be the sliciest at all because it's kind of a short bevel on the primary bevel. But yeah, and then of course you're dealing with, what is this one saying for the steel? 440A. So a lot of 440, and that also brings me back to the old days. I was all the 440s and stuff like that. I remember it well. Probably maybe some I may remember that better than some things that are more recent. which is, it's kind of a thing. Anyway, talking about styles and different styles. Um, let's go with this one here. I won this one. We had a big, well, I would say I was part of it, but I wasn't putting it on. But I was part of it. But Blade Walker, we did like a big thing with Unprofessional Dad, and they were giving away so many knives. And I'm going, come on, I gotta win something. So I was pretty excited to win this guy here. I had seen this Tim School of Fish had one on his channel, and again, it's a different kind of thing. Look at that blade shape. This is a cotton sampler, and I know there's something to it, something about winding the cotton around this and stretching it and using it to test it. But it does have a cool deep belly kind of blade, kind of almost like a what's that of the blade, the one I'm blanking, the one you cut the nuts off with. What's that one called? It'll come to me. Spade blade. Almost has that kind of clip to it. Sorry guys, sorry, I'm getting crude. But anyway, it's got that fox that looks really cool. I'm pretty sure that this is definitely a G10. Or it's a micarta, not markita. It's a micarta. Anyway, nice big one, but interesting blade shape. So variety is the spice of life, right? Especially with knives, because there's so many types of knives. It's so fun. Speaking of which, Hawkbill, woohoo! Look at that thing. I did get this one at Blade Show. We did this hula pong thing, and it's kind of a goofy little game. I think the whole intent was for them to get my my phone number and email so they could get me on their list. The trick that I pulled on them, because I was already on their list, so I was already getting their stuff. But anyway, it was towards the end of the show. I think they were just kind of giving away knives to everybody at that point. Because they have such a big stack of Rough Ryders at Blade Show. Whenever it's Smoky Mountain Knife Works was the one putting that on. So anyway, I picked this one because I always like Hawkbills, and this is a big old monster of a Hawkbill. These are Arctic Fox, both of them. First time ever getting like two in a series, and you can get like series of like 5, 6 different knives. I've never really have collected the series before, but this was kind of randomly that way. But yeah, I love that. So I said, hey, cool. I'll have 2 from that series and 2 completely unusual and different shaped knives. But then there's the not so unusual. This is the Desert Fox one, and it is a Barlow. But I love a Barlow. It's a smaller knife, but it is such a great little pocket dropper. Clip point, and then you got the little pen knife here. I'll get it out without cutting myself. There you go. Little pen knife. You sharpen up your pencils with that sucker. Anyway, cool, just a cool shape. I like the way it flares a little bit. Got the what do they call these? The threads or whatever. There's a term for it. Maybe it's a thread. Because some of them have multi. I don't remember all the terms, and a lot of them are the single. And then they Rough Rider will also do that little dimple thing there where it kind of swedges in, and it's a cool look, very cool look. It's got the wood on here, but it's not really wood. It is micarta on this one, but it's got that wood. Micarta can have that wood look when you get to the different layers and you contour it. Yeah, I love a Barlow knife. I think it's cool. That's one that I could definitely collect a bunch of different Barlows. In fact, I got another one over here. Might as well jump over here. And look, it even says Barlow on it. This is one I went for a trip visiting family up north. And my girlfriend's father had passed away. And I was getting some little pocket knives handed down to me. I did a little sharpening on this thing with the special attachment they have on the Work Sharp Professional. Worked great. This thing is nice and sharp now. It was pretty uneven before, but you can see from the blade to handle ratio is like crazy, because this thing was obviously a lot longer before, but it's like one of those old-timey knives where it just carried all the damn time and sharpened until it's like almost a toothpick. And that's one of the things I really love about this knife. I had to do some serious cleaning on this one. You can see there's a lot of patina going on, and I think that's just the coolest thing ever. Now, the penknife obviously hasn't been used as much, but still, you can tell it's not fully pen-knifed out there. But yeah, and it's got like this Delrin. This is Imperial. I know that much. I have no idea what it's worth. It's like so old. I mean, you know, it's not worth a lot of money. I don't know how much it cost originally. But yeah, I think it's so cool. It just feels like history in my hands right here, you know. And another one, same kind of thing. And I don't even know what kind of knife this one. This was so well used and worked and everything. I know it's an electrician's pattern. And it's got your main blade there. And, you know, I didn't want to clean it up too much. I didn't want to like get rid of all the patina, but certainly took out quite a bit. But one of the things about this one that makes it unusual is it has this screwdriver attachment, and from what I understand, that is the sign of a. And I had to do some research to really figure it out. Electrician's knife, and it does have a little lock thing. Doesn't really work all that well, but it's kind of similar to the one on the work knife. It's got a little piece over here that's supposed to go over, but yeah, over time, you know, it'll close. It'll close, and then it has this little little relief. That thing really pops, huh? It's got this relief here, so you can get to the nail nick on the one behind it. So you can cut, strip wire, whatever you want to do. Possibly that little thing was used for something else, that area, but it definitely works for getting to the nail nick on the one below it. This one's sharpened. I don't know if they were all sharpened. It does seem to have a primary bevel, so I think so. But anyway, not an expert on it, but I did enough research. I know that there was a company called Cut Master that they had some that looked like this, but I'm just spitballing here. Or Utica. Yeah, Cut Master Utica. That looked a lot like this, but it could be some other brand. Apparently there was a bunch of them that were made like this, but it's just so worn out that I can't really read any of the writing on the tang, if there was ever anything there. But still, history, fun knife, just hand down, because my dad never really was much of a knife guy, so never really got that thing from him. This is the Boker, the Magnum series lockback. So again, it's like a slip joint, very much like a slip joint. The only difference here is that it is locking with a back lock, rather than that kind of slip joint or the kind of liner lock that the other ones have. This one does have a back lock. It's nice and easy to actuate. I can actually open this thing one-handed. I don't know if I can do it. Yeah, see, I can. I've been working on it, and it goes really well. And then you can you can't really drop it like that, but you just put it against your leg and then close it. So it's kind of like a one-hand operation. Really nice looking knife too. I thought that was really a good one for 25 bucks from Boker. I wanted to see what Boker's slip joints look like, so that's why I picked this guy up. 440C again. I mean, it's like all down the list on this one. The Barlow and the electrician's knife, I have no idea, but everything else 440, 440C, 440, 440A. And then I got one that's stainless, which is this guy here. And then again, different styles of knives. And I heard about this one, and I really was excited to try it out. And I found this one. It wasn't too expensive on Amazon again. And it's the elephant toe. The elephant toe. And this one is marbles. So it's called the sunfish elephant toe. I don't know if there's something specific about the sunfish thing or if it's just a marbles thing. But there's these two big old tall meaty knives, little thick, not so much thick this way, but tall this way. And even the penknife is just kind of like oversized. And it is very cool and just a nice look. And marbles. This is the only marbles knife that I have in my collection. But I thought it was really nice. I really like the weight of it. It's got a serious weight to it. But that's a pretty big knife, and it definitely fits well in the hand. And yeah, I just different. Elephant's toe. I love the name, and it fits because it looks just like elephant sized. And it's marbles. So I know marbles. I think is well. I don't know. I'm not an expert. I don't have all those details, but marbles I think is also related to some of the other. It could be Rough Rider or something like that. Like different OEM or companies were putting out multiple different ones. Maybe Imperial. I don't know. I've heard like the bits and pieces of the information, and then it goes in one ear and out the other. But it's just too hard for me to keep track of all that stuff. But I love listening to people who know what they're talking about tell those stories. I can't retain it. So that's just the way it is. But anyway, quite a mix. We got a couple of two-bladed knives. We got some interesting shapes with this like kind of a upswept thing. We got the hawkbill. We got the elephant toe. I love it. All different cover materials, woods, old knives that have been sharpened to an inch of their lives. A couple from a collection. I mean, we got a lot of stuff going on here. It's quite fun. But that's it. That's it for this set. 21 minutes. That's not too bad. So yeah, we're gonna break it up. We're probably gonna be in 3, 4, 5 different sections. I got some lockbacks that are more not as much like a slip joint, so they're not quite slip joints, more like a buck 110 type stuff. So I'll be putting that in a category, and all kinds of fun stuff. So we'll be rolling through it, and also doing our Faulkner 5s and everything like that. So thank you. Enough talking, and thanks for watching. And I will see you. Oh, slamming door at the neighbor's apartment. See you on the next one. Bye.